Yo guys, welcome back to another video. As you guys can tell by the title of the video, we've got ourselves an insane comic haul this month. This is probably the biggest comic haul you guys have ever seen. That's probably not true, but it's probably the biggest one I've ever seen. So I'm gonna say this is the biggest comic haul on YouTube. We have a ton of trades. We've got some other collected editions and a good amount of omnibus as well. Just for some context, this month was my birthday, so I went a little off the rails. Also, I have a problem, of course. But hopefully next month I'm slowing down this coming month, trying to budget better. This month just got out of hand and I ended up with this. But yeah, the purpose of this video, I don't want to get it twisted for y'all. It isn't to kind of brag and show off all the stuff that I bought. That's not the point at all. I just want to keep you guys in the loop of the things that I am picking up, so that way you guys know what to look forward to as far as what I'm going to be reviewing here on the channel. It's sort of a more informative point of the video, because I know a lot of people have a problem with hauls because it sort of perpetuates the, just buy FOMO kind of shit, which I don't like either, which is why I stopped doing hauls for a long time. But it's just something that I still like to do, so I want to continue to do them, but with a different kind of more informative purpose in mind when I do them. So anyways guys, before I get started, just want to tell you guys thank you for tuning in, checking out the video. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'd greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, we have, like I said, we're going to start with the trades. I'm going to go do my indie trades, my DC trades, and then finally the Marvel trades I picked up from least to most. So first indie trade I picked up this month, we got Exquisite Corpses. This is James Tynion, the 4th new series. Was interested in picking this up, brand new series. I've heard great things. Of course, I recently read Something is Killing the Children, same creator. Yeah, I really enjoyed Something is Killing the Children. I meant to do a review on that last month, or this past month rather, but it ended up not necessarily forgetting about it, but just not having the motivation or really time to do so. It's been a bit of a busier month. But anyway, besides the point, same creator, Something is Killing the Children, wanted to check this out. It looks really interesting, and this was a new release. I believe it came out in September. So, yeah, interested in checking that one out. And similarly, we have another Tynion book. We got Department of Truth. And as you can see, this trade is pretty beat up. I found it at the local used shop. I go in there every so often to see if they have some good stuff, and they had this, and it was only a couple dollars. And I've heard good things about Department of Truth, so I thought, you know what, why not? Only a couple bucks, and sure, it's beat up, but I mean, $2 for a trade, can't beat it. And one of the things that I was most looking forward to this month, another new release, is Bug Wars. This is one of my favorite series I have ever read. Jason Aaron, Mahmoud Asrar on art. It's just really awesome. The world building is great. It's one of the series that I got into through the single issues. I was picking it up as it was coming out, and I can't wait for the series to continue next year. I highly recommend you guys take a chance on this trade. It's only what, 15 bucks or something like that, 17 bucks, and it's easily one of the best comics that I've read in a long time. It's really good, and I want to go back and reread it. It's only 6 issues. I mean, some of them are like a little bit longer issues, which I'm glad for, because the content is just so awesome. Yeah, I want to go back and reread the contents of this trade here soon. But yeah, Bug Wars is just fantastic. So that was all for indie. Let's move on to DC. We've got Absolute Superman trade. I read the contents of this in the single issues. I believe I read everything in here. Maybe I didn't read the last issue, but I think I did. I need to go back and reread this. I've been rereading my Absolute trades. I reread Absolute Batman. I reread Absolute Wonder Woman this like last month in September, and I still need to go back and reread this. But this is pretty cool. Another Jason Aaron book. Recommend that. Quite good. This is another book that I found at my used shop. Again, only a couple dollars. This is an older printing of, excuse me, an older printing of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, I've never read it before, and again, it was only a couple dollars, so I'm excited to check this out. And in the same vein, I also have Batman Year One. I picked this one up on Amazon, and it just came in the other day, so I do plan on reading these two back to back and doing sort of a Frank Miller Batman review here soon. But I did think this one was kind of neat because it is that older printing. Like before, I had ran into this in the shop. I had never seen it before, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Moving on, just to keep on trucking here, because we've got a lot of shit this video. I pieced together a set that I've been meaning to finish for a long time now, and that's Preacher. I picked up volume 4. I had the first 3 volumes, so I did get volume 4. I got that on Amazon. I got volume 5. This was at the used place that I go to. Again, I think this was like $7, $5, something like that. So yeah, couldn't pass that up. And then I picked up book 6 along with book 4 on Amazon just to complete the set. So I'm excited to go ahead and read this here soon. Again, Preacher is one of those ones where it's very highly renowned. I just haven't gotten to it. I read the show, or watched the show Preacher, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to get to the source material, and hopefully it's quite good, or at least as good as people say it is. So yeah, that is it for my DC and indie books for October. Now moving on to my Marvel stuff, we have a fat stack here. So starting us off, got Daredevil Epic Collection, Modern Era Epic Collection. This is part of the Brubaker run. Yeah, just I have the other Modern Era Epic Collections for Daredevil right there, which contains most of the Bendis run, and they're doing the final one of the Bendis run in February of next year, so I'm definitely picking that up just so I can read the Bendis run and then into the Brubaker run. I really wish they would collect the Kevin Smith run. Was it Guardian Angel or Guardian Devil or something? I don't remember what it's called, but that first Marvel Knights era stuff. They haven't collected volume 1 yet, so it would be really nice to have that. Of course, that collects one of the most important pieces of the Daredevil mythos, of one of the most important character deaths. So that stuff would be important to have. But yeah, I really enjoy the Modern Era Epic Collections. They're definitely a great way to collect the series or collect different runs if you're not able to get your hands on the omnibuses. So yeah, there's the first Brubaker Daredevil, and then moving forward we have a huge stack that is all one series. So this is one that I'm very excited to talk about. So just to give you guys a little bit of context here, I did get, oh shit, hold on. Alright, well, before I talk about that, I forgot this was in the stack. I also got Ultimates, Volume 2. I still need to read this. I read Volume 1 last month and really enjoyed it. Not that important. So, I went on eBay and I found like a little bit of a haul. We've got, hold on, let me show you guys here. Old Man Logan. If you guys don't know, Old Man Logan, the original by Mark Miller, it was the first comic that I really ever read that got me back into comics last year. Really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite Wolverine stories. But sadly, the sequel series that they did in like 2016, this one right here, is kind of hard to find. These trades are quite out of print. There's no omnibus yet that collects everything. If they do announce an omnibus, I'm definitely getting it, and I'll sell these trades because fuck it. I would love to have an omnibus of this run. But these trades are kind of hard to get your hands on, or at least they were. I don't know. I've seen this first volume for a little bit cheaper than I've ever seen it before recently, but I digress. I found a bundle that had volumes 0 through 7. So that's like a good chunk of the series, right? And it was like, and it also came with the original Old Man Logan. So I had to double dip because it was part of the bundle or whatever. So I'm going to sell off the spare copy. But all of these together, I mean, the haul was $80 for everything. So that puts these at $10 a volume, and just like having them together in a set, like, it was just too good to pass up, especially because this first volume I know goes for like $20 to $30 on its own. So yeah, just really neat, right? There are like 10 issues, or 10 volumes, I mean, in that run. The last like 3 volumes are very expensive. They're between 30 and like $80 a piece. Like, they're extremely expensive volumes because they're out of print, and people like to scalp out of print books. One day I walked into my LCS and I was just looking. I never really cared to look, and they had the 3 volumes just sitting there on the shelf for retail price, so they were like $15 a piece. And knowing that I had, you know, the 3 or not 3, but the haul coming, I was like, fuck it. So I picked up the 3 volumes. That's volumes 8, 9, and 10, retail price. And so right there, that completes this extremely out of print run right here. Old Man Logan, the whole series right there, for less than retail, which I was extremely happy about. That's probably the craziest deal that I've ever found. And it's a run that I've been looking forward to for a year since I read the original, because I read the original and wanted to read this, but it was just so hard to find physically. So I'm very happy to have found that. And of course, that was just like a long-winded explanation, but I wanted to give some context. And then we got Dead Man Logan, which is, I got the whole complete collection here, and this is supposed to be like the finale, right? It's like its own story to wrap up everything. So I do plan on doing a review and read through again at some point to get through the whole Old Man Logan saga. I'll probably have to do a reread of the original and then read through the saga and the Dead Man Logan. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. One thing that I completely forgot about, because I had it set off to the side, I guess technically this is an indie comic. I got the Hellboy box set. Kayla got me this for my birthday, which is really awesome. I love the Mignola art around the box. It's pretty freaking sick. But this has the 4 omnibus volumes, they call them omnibuses, but they're not hardcover. They're, I guess, because they're paperback, they're more like compendiums. But it has all of Hellboy in it, which is really cool. I can't wait to read Hellboy for the first time. But yeah, and especially it being collected in this like really nice slipcase. I just love the art on here. But yeah, I forgot to show that to you guys whenever I did my indie portion, because it was set off to the side. All right, so moving on, we're moving into the hardcovers, deluxe editions, compendiums, omnibuses, and such, are more expensive portion of the video. I have an embarrassingly large pile of quite expensive comic book editions here. I think there's like 10 omnibuses here, which is fucking ridiculous. I couldn't tell you why I did this. I mean, I can tell you, it's autism and low self-control. But you know what? Fuck it, we ball. Anyway, moving forward, the first thing I want to talk about here that I got, The Walking Dead, y'all. My boy, Gut, Cameron, you guys know him, you love him. My co-host on We Got Issues. He is awesome, but he's been raving about The Walking Dead. This is one of the first series that he read since getting into comics. And of course, I've watched the show. I've known about The Walking Dead for a long time, but he has really been pushing me to read the comics. So, yeah, I already had the first compendium, which I found it at that same used place that I go to. It was only like 20 bucks when I went in one day. But sadly, that's the only one they had. Luckily, though, these are really cheap on Amazon. I love Amazon because they're always running sales and deals, and everything is less than retail on there, like 80% of the time. So I got the rest of the compendiums that I needed, the rest of The Walking Dead. So I got number 2 here, only like 20 bucks. To give you guys some context, these are normally 60 bucks a piece. Yeah, I only got them for 20. I think maybe one of them was 30, like 20, 25, 30, something like that. A lot less than 60, I'll tell you that. I would not have bought these for 60 bucks a piece. But yeah, number 2, got number 3 here, and the finale, we got omnibus, or compendium, sorry, number 4. So that completes my Walking Dead set, and I can finally read that in its entirety. And then, similarly, actually, we have some more Image stuff, and one of these is actually written by Kirkman as well. We have Energon. You guys know that, at least if you've been watching for a while, I love the Transformers stuff, the Energon. All of the Energon universe stuff has been pretty cool. Last month I checked out Void Rivals, and I ended up enjoying it. One of the ones I hadn't read yet, though, I never got into the G.I. Joe, so I did pick up this deluxe edition. These are really great. They collect the first 2 trades in them. The only thing is, you know, that means we only get 1 a year. Typically, actually. But these G.I. Joe ones, they collect, at least the first 2 collect all of the miniseries that they came out with before the main G.I. Joe series that started late last year, which means that next year they have the G.I. Joe collection that collects the actual main series. But anyway, we got the first one here. This collects the Duke miniseries, as well as Cobra Commander, I think. But yeah, I don't know a whole ton about G.I. Joe, but it's a part of this Energon universe. So yeah, I'm excited to check this one out for the first time. And then I got Void Rivals, the deluxe edition. I ended up selling my trades to get this instead. I've already read the contents of this, but I would like to eventually have all of the Energon hardcovers as they come out. So that's what I'm striving for. And this book puts me closer to completing that set.
Riddle me that, Batman. What the fuck is wrong with singing from?
Moving forward, I think that's all my indie stuff. Was the Walking Dead compendiums and then those 2 deluxe editions. So moving on to DC, I have one of the prettiest omnibuses that I have in my collection. I just love the artwork on it, and that is the Jeff Loeb Tim Sale Batman omnibus. Just look at that Batman art on there. I really love it. The colors, and just Tim Sale is probably one of the best to ever do it. R.I.P. But yeah, that is just fucking awesome, man. Anyways, this is an awesome omnibus because it collects Long Halloween, it collects. Yeah, Long Halloween. What else? Dark Victory, and then Catwoman When in Rome. I'm not familiar with the Catwoman mini series they did there, but I've heard amazing things about Long Halloween and Dark Victory. I just have never gotten around to getting them, and I was gonna pick up the trades for them, but then I found this omnibus which collects both of those together, and that Catwoman series which I'd never heard of. So I was like, you know what, this thing is absolutely beautiful, and if I'm already planning on getting those stories anyway in the trades, I might as well just upgrade to the omnibus and get them together in this awesome format. So lately I've been playing the Batman Arkham games. I've been trying to go through those, and I've been in a very Batman mood as of late. So this is probably the one that I'm going to read here soon. And of course it's Halloween. I really wanted to get around to reading the Long Halloween, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it today, sadly, but whatever, it's all good. Yeah, this is the Batman comic that I'm probably going to read here very soon. Now moving on with the Batman train we got going here, another few omnibuses because I'm a madman. We've got Grant Morrison's Batman. These are actually pretty cheap omnibuses. They only retail for $75, which is still, kind of expensive. But I got these on sale, all of them. This first one, it retails for $75. I only paid $25 for it. And I think the other two were only $30, something like that. So, yeah, I'm really happy to have this in my collection. I know when I first started getting into collecting comics and collected editions and everything that is around that, I would always see people with the Grant Morrison Batman omnibuses on their shelves, and I would see the spines with the yellow, the red, and the blue, and it just always stood out. And I feel like this is, it's Grant Morrison, who is highly regarded. I haven't read a whole lot of Grant Morrison. I've read his new X-Men, which I have in Omni format up there, which was my introduction really to X-Men, and I enjoyed that. But I'm excited to see his take on Batman. His writing is very different. But the point that I'm trying to get at, I kind of went on a tangent there, is that these three Omnis seem like a staple in most people's collections. And it's just something I've noticed since I started collecting. So I'm glad to add this staple to my collection as well. But yeah, I do, like I said, been on that Batman train lately, feeling like the Dark Knight, you feel. So yeah, I'll read the Jeff Loeb Tim Sale stuff, but then after that, it's probably going to be Grant Morrison's Batman that I read next. But yeah, anyway, there's volume 1 here of the omnibus. We have volume 2, which is the blue spine. We have volume 3 with the red spine, and that makes up Batman. So moving into our Marvel stuff, I still have a couple DC things. It's just at the bottom of the pile, and I'm not trying to have Kayla's helping me out here. I'm not trying to have her dig it out at the moment. We'll get to that in a minute. But starting with some Marvel goodness, we've got some Wolverine. You know Wolverine is my goat. So I have the Krakoa era by Ben Percy. I have the first hardcover collection. This collects issues 1 through 5, as well as 8 through 12. I don't know where they put 6, 7. 6, 7. I don't know where they put those. I guess they're like tie-in issues, maybe, because there was a lot going on during Krakoa, I guess. I don't know what they did with them, but yeah. That's the first volume, hardcover. The book 2 here, what does it say? Hold on. 8 through 12. Then volume 2 here collects 14 through 25. So again, don't know what they did with 13 for volume 2. And then for volume 3 here, 26 through 35. And then 37 through 40. Don't know what they did with 36. But yeah, those are the 3 Wolverine Krakoa collections. And then to wrap that off, I believe this is like the finale of the Wolverine, collects Wolverine 41 through 50. So yeah, this is like the finale of the Krakoan era Wolverine stuff, as far as I'm aware. This is the Sabretooth War. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. I've seen some images of like the adamantium armor that Wolverine gets, and it's ridiculous. So I'm excited to eventually get to this portion of my Wolverine read through. I'm probably not going to be able to read everything, obviously, because there's just so much, but you know, we're slowly making our way through the 80s shit, and then I have some other stuff. But yeah, Ben Percy's Wolverine from 2020 is one that I'm definitely checking out. And then we have a little bit more Wolverine stuff. So this is one that, again, Kayla got me for my birthday, which is really sick. Again, I mentioned him already, Jason Aaron, being one of my favorite writers. She got me the Jason Aaron Wolverine Omnibus. So this is really sick. This collects some stuff that I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm going to eventually. This has like the Weapon X stuff and the portions of the Wolverine 2003 run, which I guess technically is volume 3. I mean, a lot of people will say that that's volume 3 if they're considering the the Claremont Miller like mini series as volume 1, which I don't know that I necessarily do, but whatever. You guys know what I mean. The 2003 stuff. So yeah, very excited. This is just such an awesome cover, and I believe that's David Finch on the art there as well. Yeah, no, this is super sick. Shout out to Kayla. She's right off to the side here. Epic pickup. And then we have another Wolverine here. This is Omnibus Volume 6 to go along with my Wolverine Omnibus set. Still missing number 1. Waiting for that to get reprinted. Yeah, Volume 6 here. Super sick. Not much to say about this other than, you know, we're in the read through, so we're going to get to it eventually. But yeah. Finally getting into, like, towards the end of the run, I feel like. Or at least, when I say towards the end, this is a little over halfway through. So I know the one that we have coming out in, when does that come out? April, May, something like that of next year. They're calling it something different, like Not Dead Yet, which is the name of like that arc, I guess. But rather than calling it Wolverine Volume 7, which I think it's kind of stupid, they should just call it Omnibus Volume 7. But that's supposed to collect, I think, up until 150. So I think that means Volume 8, whatever one they do after that, is going to be the last one of that 88 run. So yeah, very excited for that. Here in the next couple years, that means we're probably going to have all of that original Wolverine run collected in Omnibus. So I'm here for that. Before I move on to the next one, I forgot to mention that I caught that Wolverine Omnibus on restock, and if I remember correctly, I only paid $30 for it, and it's a $125 book, because it's a pretty large omnibus. So getting it for only $30, because it was like on a back order, bro, such a steal. I instantly copped that, because I went on Amazon like late at night one night, and I just saw it on there for that price. Like it took a while to get to me because it was a back order, but I just caught it on a crazy deal. So I'm very excited I checked, you know, when I did. But yeah, anyway, moving forward, we got Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 4. The one that's coming out here in November is Volume 5. I'm probably not going to get that one just yet, just because November, I'm trying to budget, trying to chill out. I already have some stuff ordered, you know, for November. So it's not going to quite fit into the budget for the month. But at some point I'll get to it, and that'll be the finale of Ultimate Spider-Man. I loved the first omnibus, so I definitely want to get that whole run. Sadly, Volume 2, of course, is extremely out of print, so it's nearly impossible to get that. I'm going to have to read it online, which I don't normally do and I don't like doing, but yeah, I love this run, so I want to read further, so I'm going to have to. But yeah, Volume 4 here, really awesome. Just to let you guys know, for pretty much everything here, when I pick up omnibuses, I never pay more than cover price, and I usually don't pay cover price either. A lot of these were like half off at the least, so I mean, it's still an extremely expensive haul, but it could have been a lot worse had I bought them at my LCS. That's why I really like using Amazon. They're just, I mean, I know Amazon's probably a terrible company, I get it, but the pricing's too good to beat. So yeah, when it comes to buying collectibles and shit, they're really like the best place I can go. So anyway, yeah, my point is I got a bunch of shit, spent a lot of money, but I did also save a lot of money for what I got. The one thing that I paid about full price for is the next one. Kayla, if you can hand me that real quick, because I pre-ordered it. I got it for a little bit less than cover price, but this is one that I got at the very beginning of the month and I was very excited for, and that is the X-Men Blue and Gold Omnibus. It just has that beautiful Mutant Genesis Jim Lee cover art on there. Just is like my favorite, stylistically speaking, my favorite era of the X-Men, and I've flipped through this a bunch of times now. I don't know when I'm going to get to reading it. Hopefully soon, obviously. And like I said, with most of these things, it's going to be a while. But, yeah. Just stylistically speaking, Jim Lee is probably the best that ever did it when it comes to the X-Men, the mutants. I just love the way he draws. Yeah, it's... And of course, X-Men #1 being the best-selling comic book single issue of all time. You know, yeah, it's just such a beautiful omnibus. The art on the outside is great. Everything inside the book itself looks fucking stunning. And also, this is such a bang for your buck kind of book. It's $150, so it's an expensive book, but at the same time, it's huge. Like, genuinely, this, like, for the longest time, the biggest book I had in my collection was the Hulk Immortal Hulk omnibus, and I was not expecting this X-Men one to be just as big. So if you guys have that one, it's basically the same size. Like, this thing is fucking massive, and it, like, literally start to finish is just beautiful artwork. Like, Jim Lee 90s X-Men goodness, bro. I absolutely adore it. So yeah, hopefully, like I said, I'll read this soon, but it's just so iconic. The redesigns that define the X-Men to this day and just revive them in the 90s. Yeah, definitely a brand new staple, and apparently they're doing more blue and gold stuff. So next year, when Volume 2 of this comes out, yo boy finna pre-order, because this shit's fire. But yeah, really awesome. That's like the one thing. I didn't pay cover price. I got a slight deal on it, but if I had waited a little bit longer, I probably could have got it cheaper, but it's whatever. And now, we are getting to the final 2 books of this insane bankrupt haul that I got going on here. Yeah, going back to DC, because these were at the bottom of the pile. These are 2 birthday gifts, one from my brother and one from Kayla as well. The first thing we got here is from Matthew, my brother, and that is the new 52 Batman Omnibus. awesome, man. This is Scott Snyder. This first omnibus has Court of Owls stuff in it, which is known to be one of the best Batman stories ever fucking written. So yeah, and of course Scott Snyder, man, he's been on fire lately. Like, I haven't read a lot of his older stuff. Obviously, this came out in like 2011. I haven't read his stuff that far back, but I mean, shit. Absolute Batman that he's writing right now is literally top 3 favorite comics of all time. I've been following it since it came out. It's largely the series that got me into collecting like new releases and stuff, and like single issue comics, and doing like the weekly comic game. Was Absolute Batman. It's still peak, like, to this day, like a year in. I enjoy Scott Snyder's writing a lot. And then he has a heavy hand in writing DC KO, which I read that first issue of KO. Peak, bruh. I'm whenever that gets collected eventually, hopefully, and I guess they're gonna do trades, but by the end, if they have like a DC KO hardcover deluxe edition omnibus, whatever the fuck they do, I'm gonna be picking that up, because KO was peak that first issue. Anyway, I'm going on a whole Scott Snyder glazing sesh over here. His Batman run, I've heard amazing things. I've heard mixed things about Volume 2, but I mean, I can't just read part of it. I feel like I gotta read the whole thing, and I mean, everything is collected here in just these 2 omnibus. So Volume 1, which is, I've heard, the best of the 2, got me given to me by my brother for my birthday. And then Volume 2 here, Scott Snyder's Batman Volume 2 omnibus, from Miss Michaela. Damn, I got some in my throat. Yeah, I just keep talking. That's probably why. But yeah, very excited to read Batman. Like, I don't really read a whole ton of DC. As you guys can see, just from this haul, I read a lot more Marvel, and I do read a good amount more indie, if I'm honest, but I'm trying to do better and get into more DC, especially with a lot of these new announcements that we got at NYCC, like this upcoming Firestorm miniseries, or I don't know if it's a miniseries or an ongoing, or The Lobo by Scotty Young. I'm trying to get into more DC stuff and going back, but man, I just love Batman in particular, so I'm trying to go read a lot of the greatest hits for Batman, which includes that Jeff Loeb Tim Sale, that includes the fucking, what other Batman did I get? Scott Snyder, and then, am I retarded? Oh, Grant Morrison's Batman. And then obviously the Frank Miller trades that I got. Anyway, this has already been a long enough video as is. Again, don't do what I did, y'all. Don't be spending that much money, but yeah, no, I went absolutely bonkers this month, but I've got some good reading ahead of me. We're slowing down the rest of the year, hopefully. And I say that like every month, but yeah, Kayla's over here giving me the finger wag. But yeah, no, I have some awesome reads, and I just wanted to give you guys some insight. Moving forward with the channel, I didn't do a great job this month, but especially, we talk about New Year's resolutions and stuff, which are, kind of stupid, but they have their purpose, right? I do want to do better about reviewing what I'm reading, and being a little less lazy in most aspects of my life, but with this channel as well. Going back to doing dedicated reviews to the stuff I read, because if I'm going to be spending the money to buy all these great books, I don't want to just have a single video every month where I throw everything in and kind of shit it out. I want to be able to give these comics, these great books, the time of day and do their own reviews and all that. So my point is, I've got a lot of shit, but I'm hopefully going to be able to get some content out of it, and, share my reading experiences with you guys, moving forward. But yeah, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys do enjoy, or did enjoy rather, as we're here at the end of the video. Yeah, let me know what you guys picked up this month. Your guys' thoughts on the books I picked up even. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.